telling us that they had somebody gave a tip that the lady was in my house. I don't know her name. ¿Cómo se llama? That we don't know. We don't know her. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her. They only said that they gave a tip that she was in my house, and I told them you can go in and search my house. There's nobody there. I have nothing to hide. There's nobody in my
Nancy Guthrie is the 84-year-old mother of today's show host, Susan Guthrie. She was reported missing February 1st from her Tucson, Arizona home. She's been missing for over 2 weeks now and got the whole country in an uproar about her whereabouts. Update on the Nancy Guthrie situation. Latest update from the Yahoo News 13 minutes ago. Nancy Guthrie latest search enters third week with no arrest as authorities review thousands of tips in her disappearance. The Pima County Sheriff said DNA that doesn't belong to the 84-year-old or anyone close to her was obtained from her property and is being tested. Okay. The search for Nancy Guthrie entered its third week on Sunday. Investigators haven't yet named a suspect or made arrests in the case, as they filed thousands of tips submitted after FBI released surveillance images from Guthrie's doorbell camera. Authorities, including SWAT and forensic teams, swarmed a home on the edge of Catalina Foothill neighborhood north of Tucson, Arizona, near Guthrie's home, as it carried out a federal court-ordered search warrant. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said Saturday that the warrant was based on a lead we received.
Telling us that they had somebody gave a tip that the lady was in my house. I don't know her name. ¿Cómo se llama? That we don't know. We don't know her. I don't know who she is. I don't know anything about her. They only said that they gave a tip that she was in my house, and I told them you can go in and search my house. There's nobody there. I have nothing to hide. There's nobody in my house, and I don't know what's going on. I mean, any family members that might know? No, they're investigating my son. He's not have nothing to do with that either. I don't know else. It's kind of fun, so I have nothing to do with it either. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. I mean, just invade my property. I told them.
We received, and no arrests were made from that law enforcement activity. Additionally, a person was questioned during a traffic stop on Friday night, but there weren't any arrests.
The wrong guy.
Either.
This bewildered delivery driver was detained for 8 hours in connection with the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, but he says he never even heard of Nancy or her famous TV anchor daughter, Savannah. How do you feel right now? How are you doing?
So good. Not so good. My family's terrified right now.
Had you heard of Nancy Guthrie or Savannah Guthrie? Carlos Palazuelos says he was out making a DoorDash food delivery with his wife on Highway 19 when he saw cops following him, so he pulled over. They had guns drawn?
Yeah.
Did they tell you why the guns were drawn?
No.
The traffic stop happened in Rio Rico, 10 miles from the Mexican border and 60 miles south of Tucson, where Nancy Guthrie was abducted. Rio Rico is a small rural town, population 19,000. While Carlos was in police custody, his home here in Rio Rico was raided by law enforcement. They also searched his other vehicle, this delivery van. Did they damage your home at all?
Yeah, they broke the door of this one.
Did they ransack the home at all?
Yes, they did.
They went through all that?
Either.
He's stunned.
Sheriff Chris Nanos told New York Times that DNA from someone other than Nancy Guthrie and those close to her were collected from Guthrie's property, but was not disclosed that it was located. Investigators are currently working to identify the DNA.
Sheriff Chris Nanos says DNA has been recovered from gloves and that DNA has also been found on other evidence in Nancy Guthrie's house.
The DNA tests that have been done, has anything come back and pointed toward anyone in particular?
Well, no, we have DNA. So trust me, if we knew who it was, we'd be on it. But we do have some DNA, and we're continue to work with the lab on that DNA analysis.
Is that DNA that you have, you believe, might be the suspects? It just doesn't match anyone in a lab, or?
What we have is we have some DNA, and we don't know whose it is. So we'll keep looking.
Well, that's significant.
Well, it is, yeah.
And that was from the house?
I'm not telling you where it was. We have DNA.
This comes as multiple.
Authorities last week expanded their call for video of any suspicious activity from people within a 2-mile radius of the 84-year-old's home. The sheriff department said that several items of evidence, including gloves, were recovered and are being submitted for analysis. It's unclear whether authorities believe the gloves are the same those worn by the person seen in the footage. On Thursday afternoon, the FBI released a new description of the suspect based on forensic evidence from a doorbell camera. He is described as approximately 5'9" to 5'10" tall with an average build.
Right now, showing a masked person you see there on your screen with what appears to be a gun at Nancy Guthrie's front door at her home the night of her disappearance. And they are now asking the public to look closely and come forward immediately if they have any information to help in the case. Once again, we are bringing you team coverage tonight with News 4 Tucson's Monica Garcia and Jacob Owens. Let's get right to Monica live from Nancy Guthrie's house with the latest on the frantic search for Nancy. And Monica, what do we know right now about this latest release by the FBI and this break in the case?
I mean, Sean,
The agency also provided specific details of the backpack he is believed to have been wearing and announced that it was increasing its reward for information leading to Guthrie's location to $100,000. Officials said last week that they have received more than 18,000 tips since the investigation began, including over 4,000 since the doorbell camera images of what FBI described as an armed individual on the morning of her disappearance were released. Guthrie, the mother of today's show co-host Savannah Guthrie, was last seen at 9:45 p.m. on January 31st, when she was dropped off at her home by family members following a dinner. Police said she was reported missing around noon the next day after she didn't show up at a friend's house to watch an online church service. Anyone with information is encouraged to reach out to Pima County Sheriff Department tip line at 520-351-49000 or the FBI tip line at 1-800-CALL-FBI. Now, this whole case is kind of strange, not kind of, a lot of strange. How in 2026 you have someone disappear into thin air without a trace? You got cameras, like I said, they got her ring doorbell camera. Pretty sure her neighbors had doorbell cameras. On every street pole in America is fucking cameras. So how could this actually happen? That she's disappeared without a trace. It ain't making sense to me. I don't know if I want to, get into the conspiracy stuff, but man, it ain't making much sense, man. It ain't making much sense at all. Okay, tell me what you think. In the comment section, let me know. Do you think she'll be found alive, or you think it could be something more grim? Hopefully she's found alive and well. But someone 84 years old been missing that long, that's on important medication they need. All I can say, we can pray for the best, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and peace. I'll catch y'all in this video.